Rad community? Today is Valentine's Day, also known as the Day of Love. And what better way to celebrate the Day of Love than a top 10 creepiest creepypasta list? Because those two things go together. If you like this video, don't forget to share it with a friend, and as always, links to the original creepypastas mentioned in this video will be found in the description below. So let's get to it. Number 10. Snap. Each month she drops off film to be developed, and each month he eagerly awaits to catch a glimpse inside her life. While they would appear to be strangers to anyone else, including herself, he has seen the most intimate moments of her life. In the days between her visits, he daydreams about talking to her. On one particular visit, he found a fully nude self-portrait in her stack of photos. He suspected she took it specifically for him and set it aside while he packaged the rest of her pictures. As the months went on, he started noticing a man enter her photos. It seemed with each picture, the two got closer and closer. Of course, this enraged the man, and so he destroyed any photos that man was in. After this, she stopped getting her film developed there. However, as time went on, photos of the woman began to reappear. The man was no longer in the pictures, and neither was her beautiful smile. In fact, most of the pictures were of the woman crying through a window. The only close-up photos are when she's sleeping. Number 9. The Vault of Humanity. Due to the ever-growing threat of war and natural disasters, a project to preserve the world's greatest treasures was started. The project ahead was complex and lengthy. In order to determine what belonged in the archive of humanity, a team composed of scientists, historians, art enthusiasts, and other fields of human culture were brought together, and they set out to sift through centuries of important discoveries and narrow it down to the most critical. The discussion soon turned vicious, and shady alliances were formed. It took years, but eventually a compromise was reached, and only a few of the greatest discoveries in human creations were selected to be preserved in the vault. Finding a location proved to be a tedious task, but with time it was decided that Antarctica was the safest place on Earth to store this computer. After a year of digging through the frozen ground, the drilling suddenly stopped. But the silence didn't last long, and soon hideous screams filled the air. The drillers had hit an expansive underground cavern that was hundreds of feet deep. A rescue team was quickly sent in, but only corpses and destroyed machinery were left. As the rescue team was about to leave, they found something hidden deep within the ice. A familiar looking vault that dated back thousands of years. Number 8. Power cut. Arriving home late after work, he was surprised by his girlfriend's voice. Away on business, she caught an early flight home and arrived just as the power went out. Stumbling his way through the darkness to meet her in the bedroom, he was taken aback by her icy touch. Blaming it on the power outage, she cooed to warm him up under the covers. Placing his phone on the stand and climbing in, he was startled by his intrusive ringtone. "Hi honey, I'm stuck at the airport, but I should be home by morning." Before he could muster up the words to respond to his girlfriend, he felt a chilling hand grasp his shoulder. Number 7. All monsters are human. You always had a fear of mirrors. Nothing super big, but enough where you never felt comfortable around them, and you tried your hardest never to stick around them any longer than you had to. On a night out with your friends, you all decided to go back to your place so you can relax. Wanting to wash your face, you hesitate knowing that you'll have to shut your eyes so close to a mirror. Feeling self-conscious that your friends may notice your oddity, you hurry up and clench your eyes and start splashing water everywhere. Quickly glancing up at the mirror, you are met with your own reflection. Feeling silly over your fear, you sheepishly turn away, only to find out that your reflection doesn't follow. You stare at each other in fear, too afraid to move. You slowly turn to find your friends standing at the door, and they're all sporting wickedly inhuman smiles with pitch black eyes. You quickly look back at the mirror. Your reflection and your friends' reflections are twisted in horror. Your friends quickly lunge towards their own reflections. The corners of your mouth turned up to a sickly smirk, similar to that of your friends. You always knew you were on the wrong side of the mirror. Number 6. The argument. You're the manager of a mini mart. It's a small store, but business is good and it allows you to hire a second employee. Looking to help out a friend, you offer the position to them. Things were going smoothly at first, But then one day you notice the drawer is short on cash. Writing it off as a one-time thing, you forgive your friend. Soon enough, stock starts missing and your friend goes on longer breaks, leaving the store unattended to. At your wit's end, you confront your friend. The conversation quickly turns to a heated argument. Later that day, you determine the argument didn't quite fix the situation, so you show up to your friend's house and bang on the door. He answers and his face is a pasty white and he looks like he wants to vomit. You're confused by his reaction until you catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror. Or at least what's left of you after the shotgun blast that your friend gave you at the end of the argument. Number 5. Sailor without 2 coins. For a sailor that's about to meet his end at sea, there's a way to cheat death. But be warned, once you call him, there's no going back. Feeling your mortality slipping, you yell out to the sea, "Devil, take my soul across the Styx, for God has abandoned me." Feeling powerful fingers grip your wrists, you know he has come. No matter how violent the waves, he always comes. But calling him is not free and he demands payment. This is the trick. You tell him the payment is at your house on land. You must be careful not to lock eyes with this beast, for if you do, he'll know you're lying and throw you back into the dark waters. Driven by the thought of payment, he carries the boat across the violent sea to the calm shore. You then tell him you'll be back shortly with the payment, but you know you can never return to the water or you'll face certain death. But keep in mind, he won't wait around forever, and with each passing day, his anger festers. Number 4, a trip to the cemetery. A woman stood by the gravestone that belonged to her beloved husband. Each year, she'd return to the spot on the day that he died, making sure to bring something of his along with her. This year, she had brought his most hated possession, a hearing aid. Oh, how he resented this tiny object with such a passion. With a little chuckle, she wondered if it still worked. Putting it up to her ear, she was surprised to find that it still did. Something compelled the woman to lie down. Putting her ear down to the ground of his grave plot, her eyes widened with horror. The woman sat up, terrified at what she heard. She heard nails scraping across wood, frantic banging, and a familiar voice letting out a screech of terror. Number 3. Peripheral vision. Have you ever noticed something out of the corner of your eye? A quick movement caught in your peripheral vision. It's usually nothing and can be chalked up to a shadow or a pet jumping on furniture. But you know those times where it just doesn't sit well with you? Something feels off, a shiver runs down your spine, hairs on the back of your neck stand up. If you ever experience this, it may be cause for worry. Our peripheral vision is an evolutionary trait that was designed to catch motion even in the dark to warn us of predators. Our list of predators may have shortened, but it still exists. But keep in mind the next time you feel that undeniable chill at the back of your neck, try not to pay much mind to the moving shadows out of the corner of your eye. It may be better not to see what's really there. Number 2. The window. Sitting at his computer desk, his room was toasty warm despite it being the middle of December. Last week, his family had the windows replaced and he was grateful to no longer be sitting in an icebox. Being the typical teenage night owl, he stayed up long after the rest of his family went to sleep. Between surfing web pages, he began hearing a strange thumping noise. Trying to write it off as nothing, he kept on browsing, but soon the noise ate away at him. He had never heard a noise quite like it before. It was rhythmic, intentional. He knew it was coming from outside his window, but he refused to even glance in that direction. Just as suddenly as it appeared, the thumping stopped. He eventually crawled into bed, making sure not to look towards the window. The next morning, feeling more confident with the light, he decided to investigate on what could have made that sound. Nothing seemed odd, and he still couldn't figure out what that noise could have been. When his dad arrived home that day, he decided to open up the windows. And that's when he realized what the sound was. As his dad went to pull up the window, he didn't realize that the window was still locked. It made the same thump as last night. His window only has a handle on the inside. Number 1, sister. Your sister screams during the night, the loudest blood-curdling scream you have ever heard in your life. You try to ignore her screams and get some sleep. But even if you're able to drift off into a dream, her screams bring you back. You plead with her, you ask her what scares her, but she never answers and you can't help her. They're endless, ear-splitting screams and you're past your limit. One night, you're determined to make her stop screaming. It's dark and there's distance between you so you can't see her face. You kneel over her during one of her fits. You yell at her to stop and she finally does. But not because she's no longer afraid, but because she knows someone's there. She doesn't want them to know she's here. Your mother appears behind you, telling you that you need to go back to bed. Aren't you bothered by her screams? Can't you hear them? But she can't. Only you can hear your sister's screams. You get up to brush the dirt away from your knees. Your sister lies in her coffin dead, but she still screams. Whew, okay, that's some creepy stuff. Let's just eat chocolate and forget this ever happened. If you really like the Creepypasta Snap, there's a movie called 1 Hour Photo that stars Robin Williams that has a very similar plot and I highly recommend it. It's creepy. I hope you guys are having an awesome day, and if you're watching this video, I'm gonna assume that you are. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. And if you're not yet part of the Radtastic community, well, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and join today. Until next time, bye!